moving out of the mind and falling into the senses. We're going to focus on form in order to move into the formless. So it's kind of paradoxical, but in order to dive deeply into our formless nature, we need to utilize and acknowledge the form of our bodies. So yes, in the absolute sense, you are not the body, but you have a body, and the body is here. So it's important that we pay attention to the body. It's a beautiful vehicle that we can utilize as a doorway to reach deeply into our essential nature, that which is always here, formless and unable to be noticed through the physical mind or senses, and at the same time includes all of the senses. So to begin, notice what's going on for you in your body in the way of sensations, just connecting with your breath, inviting it to deepen, to include every part of the body. And notice that just in stopping and acknowledging that already the senses start to become more apparent. So let the breath flow deeply, effortlessly. You may invite it in to reach and extend and widen, but then again relax behind it. Let yourself relax as the wide expanse of kindness, of noticing. And checking in your experience, what does the body feel like? Is there particular places where energy goes, or attention, or maybe places where it doesn't go? And let your scanning be global, so you're not focusing on any one thing, more the totality of you that includes everything. Especially those places where attention may not normally go. And for me, I notice that often attention will immediately go to the middle back area, right? Kind of behind the heart. It seems to be a part in my body where if I'm really busy, it can start to gather a little bit of tension, start to hold. So if there's anything like that for you that happens, you can allow that part to open. As we age, this is the part of the body that will often develop a little bit of a curvature in the spine. So here you can let the spine elongate. Let there be spaces between the vertebrae, and let any pockets of contraction or holding open. And then noticing what that feels like. And letting the breath deepen down into the abdominal region. In the hip carriage. And see what sensations are in these different parts. Is there quietness, aliveness? Just what does it feel like to be in your body now? What sensations are here? Do you notice your feet on the floor? So including. And notice how amazing it is that the more that we include in our form and in the senses, and we begin to pay more attention to sensations, that the mind naturally softens or quiets, comes into a much more quiet space, or perhaps there are larger gaps between thought, where tension doesn't seem to go there as readily. So here in this coming into the body, rather than paying attention to some kind of tape recorder that might run occasionally in your mind, you actually can come to a spaciousness where thought is clarified, maybe even vivid, and also where it feels like it comes from a different place, where it doesn't come from the old tape recorder that has memory, although faulty, of the past. And as you pay attention to sensations, the ears also start to open, not necessarily the physical ears, but even hearing is clarified. Whereas a moment ago, you may not have noticed the delightful song of the birds in the distance, because you were perhaps paying attention to the tape recorder in your mind. But see how sensations open and widen so you can notice what's in your environment, can begin to see more and more clearly through what I'm going to call for now a formless sensation. It's not dependent on the physical ears or the eyes or even the nose. But at the same time, it can hear, smell, and see. But from a space that doesn't run through the recordings in the mind. It's fresh. It's informed by your freshness, not tainted by the interpretations of the mind. So here, as you come more into the body as a vehicle for your deepest essence, you actually begin to see and experience reality as it is, not as the mind projects it to be from that old tape, old memory, old experience that may not have flushed itself out yet. So here, there's a very wide relaxation that's also awake, aware, open. And so here you may even be able to notice the smells in the room. And some of us are very sensitive to smell. And when we get quiet like this, the sensations of smell can sometimes be magnified. So often if you come into a group meditation, it's good to be conscious of what smells you bring with you, because everybody has a heightened sensitivity. So strong perfumes, shampoos, and deodorants can be magnified. What I think is very cool is you can smell things about yourself that you may not have noticed that are quite pleasant and don't require a perfume of any sort. But there's a definite flavor to your essence. It has a feeling nature. And also as you come more into the body and the mind opens by itself, many things can happen that may not have been planned upon. That's the mystery of you opening this formless sense, essence. And as this happens, if the body has been busy and occupied and working hard, or maybe not necessarily listened to, as you come to relax in the body, there may be some fatigue. And that's okay. It's the body letting you know perhaps that rest is needed. And you let rest happen. And in the resting in this space, there's a very deep, deep nourishment or revitalization that takes place. It's almost the same as having a power nap, but better. Because your mind is clarified, becomes more vivid. Now, if you're not feeling that way, if you're instead feeling like hazy or cloudy, then it may be that there's some kind of effort going on to create a particular state. So just notice that and let any fog, haze, or cloudiness to be acknowledged and let it pass. And let yourself recede beneath, be the space in which it happens. So resting and widening, relaxing and being, acknowledging and letting go. As you meditate like this, it's very different than arriving at a state of transcendence, that efforts to transcend feeling. This idea that is sometimes in our collective unconscious, that body and spirit are separate, or that body needs to be purified, or that body needs something in order to be divine. Just notice that that's a old collective condition. That's a myth. And if you examine that just for a moment, consider that we're all born of the body. We were all given birth through the womb of a mother. Thus, the body is completely necessary in order for us to inhabit a form. So that it's impossible to deny this gift that we've been given, and that spirit doesn't vacate the body ever. It's already here. So when these kinds of myths and ideas are seen and acknowledged as not true, they can vanish, and you can embody your body more fully. Some people of a very strict religious training often will even harm their bodies with some idea of sinfulness or whatever, some idea of needing to punish. It doesn't make sense to me, but I see how it's been carried out. So if there's any bit of that roams the unconscious, you can let it come forward and embrace it like a mother, so that every part of the body can be here. The genitals, organs, the sensations of pleasure and sensations of pain, everything. So the only way out is through acknowledging what's here. Let it be expressed and seen. And let the old thoughts that are connected to this, let them be seen and opened up into the light of your formless essence, your vitality. All bodies are meant to have pleasure. All bodies are meant to feel good. All bodies are meant to experience all sensations. And when they're not, they're suppressed in the system somehow, held back. And this is what turns into our shadow energy, unconscious material or shadow nature. When really there's this full blooming of all sensation wanting to happen. It's natural. It's the most natural thing to all of us. It's as natural as giving birth to a baby. Maybe not always easy, often a process, which includes multiple sensations and invites the greatest surrender or letting go, because that is a situation where you realize you have zero control. So the same kind of letting go is invited always as you fall more deeply into this wide expanse of formless essence that includes all sensation. And invigorates a healthy vitality, harmonizes the dark with the light. Now, as you've been sitting here, If you have, or at any time, feel yourself kind of sticking to sensations, feelings, or thoughts, kind of like you identify with them somehow, cling, just get sticky in this space of the body as you're relaxed and open, then you can always drop in a question. To whom are these sensations? An inquiry, just a gentle dropping, which isn't to be answered by the mind. But to whom are these sensations, thoughts, or feelings? And let that inquiry drop. It's not, it's more like it's a sharp dropping. It's something it's a really pointed question. So you hold it with importance. It's an important question. You let the answer be delivered as an experience, not as a thought. To whom are these sensations? And stay in the exploration. And as you stay, you may just feel yourself as space, spaciousness, or awareness, or that some people call the I amness, this unlocatable, formless essence, which everything rises and falls, undisturbed. Deeply quiet, and at the same time, vividly alive. Let yourself be here in the quiet, want to add one more pointer before we come out of this part of the meditation. And that is, if you like to meditate at the end of the day, even for just a couple of minutes, this is a very powerful way of being with yourself in your body. So the mind is acknowledged and allowed to empty out by paying attention to sensations in your body. And as you feel yourself more enlivened by the sensations in your body, by acknowledging them, momentarily you may feel invigorated rather than like you want to sleep. But that's just because you're allowing everything to be as it is. It will, within moments, start to settle, harmonize into much more of a quiet nature. And then what you can do is you relax in the body. Relax, relax, relax. Is then act like as if you had a zipper on the entire back side of your body, and you let everything from the day flow right out the back side. So if there were strong imprints, impressions, like say at night you watch off the charts movie and you have a lot of impressions, or you've had difficult conversations, you don't want to carry it into the sleep, you can just let it fall out the back side. And this is what I call allowing your body to be a body of light. So you go into sleep as a body of light, and then you awaken in the morning much more refreshed and vitalized. Just since we're here on the body, you don't need to do a long meditation. Just take a few moments to let the impressions and stresses of the day first be acknowledged, because we don't need to develop a habit of bypassing anything. Letting it be as it is, and then flowing out the back, not needed. And then you may feel like, even if you do now, you don't feel like so much even like a body. You start to feel like shimmering light, or space, or the awareness that you are. And believe me, this is a very wonderful way to go to sleep, because often I don't get enough sleep, and if I do this, it feels like I get enough sleep. So relaxing fully and letting all the energies of the body settle. So even as you're falling to sleep, letting everything return to the source. And notice what happens then when you wake up in the morning to functionality.